Or maybe not.
Yeah, okay. This is a season, we're closing down the fishing.
Not really.
Excepting there's ice fishing you were talking about. Now, the ice fishing is a big special deal. You have to have a shack, I think. And
Well,
you freeze
yeah.
to death. You'll freeze to death if you don't have one.
Well, or you can pick your days. If you get a sunny day, it's not
Yeah,
too
but
bad.
lots of luck and you might fall through. But
No, you know what's nice about up here is you've got the snowmobile trails.
uh-huh.
And you can take those snowmobile trails, which makes it pretty easy to drag your stuff out onto the ice. But I mean, you can go out pretty simple. I mean, the poles are cheap. The bait's cheap. You use like a tube jig or a twister tail or a little metal jig.
You use live bait or worms or?
No, I just
No?
use, I use what they call a Swedish pimple. It's a little, like a teardrop shaped jig. And then I put a couple grubs on the end, which you can get down to Hogan's Hut or the Happy Hooker. But, you just basically, you drop down and you just kind of jig it a little bit and you get close to the bottom. And
you have a heater in your shack, so you're comfortable.
oh yeah, I have a heater.
And you have a.
See, I have an
some
underwater
food,
camera.
a
Oh
food,
yeah, you got to have
a little
food.
drink or maybe.
I make snack sticks out of deer food.
I've seen actually some of them out there. I've seen girls come sneaking out of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean all kinds of crazy things.
I never
going
have
on.
that luck.
No, well, we got another caller. You want to take
Okay,
a call?
sure.
Good morning, caller. Finally, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
I have a question about fishing.
You're talking the wrong guy, right guy, right here.
Maybe.
Okay. This may sound silly, but I like to fish sometime from the pier at Barcelona. And do I need a license to fish off the pier?
Yes, you do. Need
Okay.
a license. And they
Okay.
just came due, the new ones, yesterday. So if you buy
Okay.
one now, you're good till next September 30th. Yeah, any waters, the only place you can really get away without a license is out in the ocean. And some places you can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, they get you coming and going, don't they?
Pretty much.
You sound like a senior. Are you a senior?
Yes.
Yeah, well, last year they quadrupled the price of licenses for seniors, but they did offer you a lifetime for $50. A lifetime hunting and fishing. It's a, what do they call that? The
They just call it a little lifetime sportsman for that.
sportsman. Okay.
I know that was a terrific raise in price.
Yeah, well, I tell you, the state is so hungry, they're even screwing the seniors. Now, seniors always were free. Then they had a slight charge, $1, and then it went to $5. Now it's $20
No,
for the
it's still,
same thing
Still $5 if you're over 70.
if you're over 70.
Yep, I brought
Okay.
the book today because I don't remember all these fancy numbers.
Okay, but they did offer.
But I have another question.
Well, wait a minute, that $5 does not include your doe license, which you got to pay another.
Well, the $5, that's just for your
yeah, just for
fishing
the
license.
basics. Oh, for the fishing? I'm
Yeah,
talking
but-
hunting and fishing.
Oh, well, that'd be a
See,
sportsman. I got to go
Yeah,
to the other book for
sportsman's up to
that.
what, about
But if you-
$40 or something?
Yeah,
The
that's-
greedy state is taking everything from
Like I
us.
said, if you just wanted to fish and you're over 70, it'd cost you $5.
Okay, there you go, caller. But tell me something. Do you ever get anything off Barcelona?
Oh, yeah.
Pardon?
Do you ever catch anything down there?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just wondering, what advantage is it, in his opinion, to go out in my boat and sit out there and fish, or on the dock? It seems to me you have almost as much luck right off the pier.
It depends on the time of year what you're fishing for. If you're trying for walleye off the pier, you're pretty much out of luck.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you need perch. Once in a while, you can get them in the harbor or off the pier. Where if you're in your boat, you can go out there and you can actually go to the fish. Now, steelhead, if I were fishing those and in the spring with the bass, you can have just as good a luck off of the pier as you can going out in your boat pretty much. And with the steelhead in the creek or right in the harbor there, this time of year especially, and I mean, it should be coming up any time now where there'll actually be some nice brown trout too, which,
I have one other question.
okay.
If you're a vet, and I am a vet, an old one, do I get any break on getting fishing license?
If you're It says here in the book, if you're a senior, 70 plus, or militarily disabled, you can get the $5 license. Other than
Okay.
that, you're pretty much in the same boat with everybody else.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, caller. Send me a stamped envelope. I'll give you some nice coupons to the Lakeview.
All right.
Okay,
Be down.
It's-
Lakeview is that restaurant at the foot of the hill that has a salad bar that will never die. And they have a great fish fry while we're
The
talking
big
about
ass fish fry.
Yep. We're
Yeah.
talking to Don Pitutch here. Don, I want to just make sure everybody knows who you are. He's our annual fishing geezer. He knows his fishing. Now, go
Well,
ahead.
I know what I know.
You know your
You know,
fishing.
you look at this, last year,
Uh-huh.
was, and they did, well, it was last year before, they did all these fishing license raises. But you look through here, this is just fishing license. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18
Different category.
different categories. Now, looking here, I see I've got to take my glasses off. If you want to get a lifetime license like that gentleman was just talking, if you're a senior 70 plus, it'll cost you $65.
Just for fishing.
That's a
But if you-
sportsman.
if you
That's the
wanna-
sportsman's license.
Oh, is it? So you can hunt with that one then, too.
Right. Now, see if you want a lifetime,
Fishing, regular person for fishing.
that's for fishing and
sportsman,
hunting.
Sportsman.
Yeah,
For
that's a
fishing.
sportsman.
What is it, $460 for fishing, right?
Yeah, lifetime fishing, 460.
You better live a long time.
That's a lot of fish. I mean, fish is expensive, but, if you figure it out, you're really going you're going a lot for the sport too and the fun. I mean, you're out in nature. I mean, when you're up here ice fishing, there's a little solitude about it that's kind of relaxing. You sit there, some people say you're a little off center. You're walking out on the lake, don't know what's what. But I've been doing it since I was a little kid.
And you're still here.
Because I went through once and it
you?
wasn't pretty. I went through where you don't feel bottom and that's not fun.
Oh.
But, so you get a little wiser. But, a lot of it is you're going out there for the fun. And some people go out there for business. There's charter captains, which I help my buddy. He has a charter boat, which is a great thing. I mean, you get some great people out there. You get families. A couple weeks ago, we had a charter for perch. And there was mother and father and their 2 little kids. The little girl was 7 years old. Well, we were perch fishing. We're way out, 4 miles out on the lake. This little girl, she just thought it was great. She's 7 years old. So I was helping her. She dropped down. She caught her first fish. Very first fish. Oh, what a joy she was.
Yeah.
And we had, one time earlier in the year, we had 4 9-year-old boys from Pittsburgh. They came in, I mean, they were just as boisterous as boys can be, but they were the greatest bunch of little kids. They're boys. You had to tell them a little bit, don't do that, don't do that. But they were catching fish. They were having a hard time. We were walleye fishing, so they were catching some big fish. And these little kids, it was just great. So, there's some good, here's a funny little story about it. There's a toilet on Bruce's boat, and the kids were flushing it. They came out and they asked me, well, where's that go? Well, I just kind of BS'd them, and I told them, it just flows out the back of the boat. So a few minutes later, here's the boys all of a sudden come running out from underneath the cuddy, and they're looking over the side of the boat trying to see where it goes when they flush the toilet. It was pretty funny.
It reminds me, a piece of advice, if you're going to teach a kid to fish, take them to a place where there's a lot of fish.
Oh, yeah.
Usually a pond with a lot of sunnies and perch and stuff in it, so you drop anything in there, they hit it. And these kids catch a bunch of fish the first time they go out, and they're sold for life. Make a big deal out of them, no matter how small.
And the other thing is, if they're little, and the kids, I'll never forget my granddaughter when she caught her first walleye. She followed that all the way through, and I cooked it for her that night. And so make sure when you catch a fish, at least you catch some that you're going to have to clean and cook for little
because
ones.
no matter how small it is, you've got to make a big deal out of it.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to clean it, and you've got to cook it, and you've got to smack your lips.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you catch sunfish out of cold water, they're good to eat.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're another bass, really. They're just a bass.
Well, they're not bad out of cold water either.
I love them.
I mean, and
especially
a lot of that's in
some of them
taste.
are pretty big in the fall.
yeah.
You catch them in the fall, they're fat.
Oh, yeah. Well, everything starts fattening up for winter because the water gets cold, their
Yeah.
metabolism slows down, and
So fish in the fall are usually better quality than fish in the spring when they're all wiped out, they're skinny.
Yeah,
bony.
well, they went through their spawn.
Yeah.
You know, most fish spawn in the spring, so they're on the thin side. This time of year, they're fattening up to get ready to spawn
Fat
and
and
go
sassy.
through the winter. And they tend to be a little more aggressive this time of year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can get, the perch especially, they tend to go on a fall feed where you can really
They're fattening
do
up.
some good. I mean, and like I said, you can go down to like the docks there off of Bemis, and you can catch perch, and all you need is a pole and some maybe 6-pound, 4-pound test line, a little jig, which you can go down to Hogan's Hut right there.
Just ask them, what do you
And
use for
say,
perch,
what are you
right?
using for perch? And they'll say, oh, I use this, you know, they'll tell you something. And you can go over there, and for a minimal fee, you know, other than your license and stuff, you can catch yourself a nice meal.
Yeah, where's this?
Down at Bemis in Long Point.
Long Point.
You go off those docks.
Off the park. They still let you in there. They were gonna close it at one point.
Well, that's because they made money on it. I read the article in the
Well, sure
Jamestown
they
paper.
did.
They made $32,000.
Well, sure, they made a
And they
bundle.
were still gonna close it.
Yeah, but idiots, huh?
Well,
These people don't think.
it was their way of getting attention.
I guess so. Well, they sure got my attention. I was really annoyed. And Kathy Young, she was down there raising
Yeah,
rumpus.
well, it's like
She's our-
nonprofits we gotta keep those, but,
Well, she's our assembly person.
yes,
No, she's our senator.
state senator.
right. Okay, I just got the word. We're out of here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute just to wind up and shut down. This is your
Okay.
time.
Well, first thing is, I'm not a professional fisherman or an expert. I'm just a guy who likes to go out fishing, and I have pretty good, and listen to this word, luck. There's some skill involved, but a lot of it's luck. And you know, if you get a chance and you want to go fishing and you're kind of on the edge, go to one of the bait and tackle shops like the Hunting and Fishing Emporium in Westfield or Hogan's Hut or the Happy Hooker or Barcelona Market. Or in the summertime, you can even go down to the harbor there, and you can talk to the harbor master, and there's usually guys hanging out there, and learn. And you know, some guys will even take you out and say, come on, I'll take you out, we'll go fishing. You know, they're out by themselves. So like I said, if you want to learn, there's ways to learn. You know, if you're like steelhead, if you want to learn, you want to spend some money, there's guides. There's a guy in Westfield I know that does guiding for steelhead. He'll show you what he uses and how to fish, and this guy's good. I've fished with him before. You know, so there's guys, you know, if you want to go out, have a good time, there's charter captains. There's all kinds of them. There's in Barcelona, there's in Northeast, where you'd have to buy a one-day license, which isn't much different. But it's nice on these charters, you know, the guys will clean the fish for you and everything else, and you can kind of learn a little bit there. Or any number of things, you know, that can get you out fishing. Or take a walk on Chautauqua Lake when it's a nice day and guys are ice fishing. And they'll show you, tell you different stuff, and you
So-
can see what they're
so
doing.
you
So
learn-
there's a lot of,
you
lot of
learn from
education
everybody else
just
around there.
wandering around and catching the BS from the guys.
Nice thing about fishermen is they like to tell you how to do it. And okay, Don Pitutch, he's the guy, if you want to get in touch with him and you have any questions that he hasn't answered or want to just know, and he might even take you out for a little fling, Don Pitutch, what's your number, Don? You want to give it out or not?
Oh, what the heck. It's 736-5062.
Okay, 736-5062, and you'll be in touch with a man who knows his stuff. In the meantime, sorry, last caller, we didn't get you. It's probably Linda. However, I do want to thank all those beautiful people out there who did call in, and all those people watching, and happy fishing. And incidentally, you go down to any creek out of the lake now and just drop in anything that's silver and catch a giant fish. It's fantastic.
You're a dreamer.
Chuck Kelsey, I want to thank you, Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Chris Ramaker, Mort Flexer, Randy Burt, Jeff Zook, Don Zenz, all those people on our staff and others who are helping out around here. Meantime, get out there, have a happy, happy week. It's going to be beautiful, and catch yourself a fish. Just go over to Long Point, throw in a minnow or something, and off you go. You'll have perch till you can't see tomorrow, or a little jig even. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you, friends. I'm Reed Powers.